Did you plan for it कि मेरे को CTO बनना है कभी आगे जाकर, or it just happened?
I have not planned for it, but obviously I always thought that I can become a good CTO.
Do you still code?
I still code. So
Okay.
most of my weekends I spend time in coding.
When you say it was not scaled on, was it a code issue or was it an infra issue?
Both the things.
Okay.
So to scale a system, you need to have a better code running on a better infra. Plus, you need to have a database that can scale based on the transactions
Right.
that you are hitting.
In terms of tech, what differentiates Microsoft, Paytm, and HT Digital?
In terms of technology, I would say all three companies are at a very good scale.
With AI, what have you seen changing?
The day I think ChatGPT was launched, a lot of things were changed.
How many hours do you work typically?
Frankly speaking, I don't count the number of hours I work, but if I really have to think about it, would be close to about 60-65 hours.
What is one red flag that when you see that in any engineer when you are hiring, you instantly reject that person?
An engineer has not taken any initiative to improve the system, to reduce the response time, to reduce the cost of the engineering system, then that's a clear red flag that that person won't be able to sustain
Right.
with the expectation that we are having from our team.
Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of our podcast, Tech with Sukant. Today we have Amit, uh, amazing leader in the tech ecosystem. Currently, he is the CTO with HT Digital. He has worked with Paytm, with Microsoft, and solved some really complex engineering problems. So let's see what he has to say. Welcome, Amit, to our podcast.
Thank you, Sukant, for inviting me.
So, how does it feel being on the podcast today?
It's my first time, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it feels really great.
Nice. Amit, आप बताओ, what steered you towards tech leadership? From lead engineer directly towards, management role and then to the CTO role. What
So I would
happened?
say that frankly speaking, I have not planned for that. Uh, uh, so the pivotal moment started when I joined Paytm. So before Paytm, I was mostly working as an individual contributor in ion trading. In Paytm, I got an opportunity to actually lead a team and become engineering manager. Uh, and after that, the journey has been really great. So in Paytm, we scaled system, we scaled the team, and then I joined Microsoft and now ST Digital. So yeah, so I think leadership is not just about one moment; it's about that how we continuously innovate ourselves and lead
Yeah.
every single day, and that's what makes us a good leader.
Did you plan for it कि मेरे को CTO बनना है कभी आगे जाकर, or it just happened?
I have not planned for it, but obviously I always thought that I can become a good CTO.
Okay.
Uh,
Why is that?
See, I like to be in a driving seat,
Okay.
kind of driving seat rather than just following the orders.
Mhm.
And I like to work directly with the business people
Okay.
rather than working with someone who is coordinating with business and then giving us the requirements. So yeah, and I kind of align my work style based on the business objectives of that organization. So therefore, I thought that I can be a good leader.
Do you still code?
I still code. So
Okay.
most of my weekends I spend time in coding. See, I always believe that as a technical leader, if you are not coding, if you are not able to help your team technically, then you are not a good leader. So
But how do you get time? You have a team of around 200 engineers,
yes.
right, working for you. So how do you get time to get into the trenches and still code?
So in weekdays, I don't usually get time. Most of the time, I spend either when I wake up early at 4
Okay.
4:30 a.m. in the morning and I don't have anything to do, so I
Very
just
early.
start coding,
Got
and
it.
or kind of late nights or mostly on weekends. So most of my time gets spent in kind of developing the POC or the prototypes of some
Obviously.
business problem, and then I give it to my team to actually productionize that.
Got it. Nice. And क्या last क्या code करा था आपने?
Last, I created a tool which does the complete SEO optimization. So so as you know that in media industry we get about 80-85% traffic from Google search and
Yes.
discover. So search engine optimization becomes the primary goal of all of us. So I created a tool that actually find out all the trends that which news topics are working in the market for which we have not written the article. So it
Okay.
notifies the art kind of editor that you have to write on this breaking story. If they have written on that breaking news story, but we are not ranking on Google search, it gives the actionables also that
What
these
is missing?
what is missing in your article
Yes. What
and
keywords needs to be added and
what
stuff
keywords
around
needs to
that.
be added, what internal links, external link that you need to add. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
um, and, and I use kind of AI to do that complete coding for me. So it took about 3-4 days, but it's a kind of a good tool, and everyone in our sort of organization are using that.
Oh, everybody has adopted it. It must be a pretty
Yes,
good thing.
yes,
Actually, I was also trying to solve a similar problem around SEO optimization. How can we, create a lot of articles in bulk on a daily basis, right? How do you create a lot of backlinks and stuff? Not just
correct.
recommendation,
Yeah,
but also, creating a lot of backlinks and automating this entire process.
correct, correct.
So how do you guys measure it? Because like you said, right, in the media industry, SEO is very important. Most of the traffic is coming directly from Google.
Google.
So how do you measure it? Ki ranking ऊपर गई, नीचे गई, क्या हुआ? Who is coming up, down, and what are the parameters that actually impacts it?
So normally, so in terms of measurement, we are measuring ranks. So once we have sent the recommendation to our edit team, uh, after 15 minutes, an edit team has made the changes in that article.
Mm-hmm.
We measure the ranks that has ranks have, of that article has improved or not.
Okay.
So we use something like a which is something like a SERP API to simulate the search on that keyword on Google
Okay.
and give us the result. So if our rank has improved, normally we have seen that about 40-45% rank improvement is there if all those recommendations are implemented by the edit team.
Okay.
And better ranks give you higher traffic.
Yes. Yes. Okay. That is quite interesting. बट पता कैसे चलता है कि कि व्हाट जैसे कि यू मेंशन राइट कि यू क्रिएटेड डेवलप्ड अ प्रोडक्ट
Yeah.
that will provide that recommendation. What's the idea behind that? From where is that data coming in? From where is that recommendation coming in?
So just to give you an example, complete SEO team used to do it manually. So they used to go to, for example, Google Trends, or go to we have a tabula dashboard here also where we can see that which topics are getting traffic across the
Yeah.
complete universe. So they used to do it manually. They used to go to those dashboard, find out the topics that are working for all the people, and we have not written any story on them. Then they used to manually give those recommendations to the edit team.
Got it.
Now we have automated that stuff.
So, in terms of SEO, do we require different strategies for the kind of market we are targeting? We are targeting tier 1 city, tier 2 city, tier 3 city, or metro city, or is it generic for all?
It depends upon not much on the market, but more on the topics that you are writing. So, if, for example, if you're writing a topic on India news or world news, then there has to be a different SEO strategy on what should be the tonality of the article, how many
Got it.
keywords you should have. If it's an entertainment or a lifestyle article, then there would be a different sort of SEO strategy to rank those articles.
Okay. So with AI, a lot of content generation has been automated,
Correct.
right? So everybody is now anybody can launch a newspaper or a new website without having anybody on their payroll. They don't need to hire anyone. They can just generate hell lot of content and post it on their website or apps.
Yeah.
So after this chat GPT of the world, how has this impacted the media industry, if at all?
So at least for HT, we can say we are not creating any content by using AI. So we are using AI to augment the efficiency and the quality of the articles that we publish.
Okay.
So we are using Grammarly, we are using ChatGPT and Perplexity to do a research, but ultimately each and every article is written and vetted by the in-house editors themselves to maintain the quality of the articles.
But why not, why can't this also be written by AI? Why do we need
AI does a lot of hallucinations. So as a reputed brand, we have to make sure that whatever we are serving to our customer is factually accurate.
Got
and
it.
that accuracy is checked by our edit team.
Okay. What has been most interesting or challenging engineering problem that you have solved at HT or anywhere in your past experiences?
So I can share example of Paytm,
Okay.
where before demonetization, our payment gateway used to handle about 100 transactions, 150 transactions per second. Now, demonetization was announced in November of 2016, and at that time, the traffic increased a lot, and our system was not scaled enough to handle that load. So our system used to go down frequently at that time.
So when you say it was not scaled down, was it a code issue or was it an infra issue?
Both the things.
Okay.
So to scale a system, you need to have a better code running on a better infra. Plus, you need to have a database that can scale based on the transactions
Right.
that you are hitting. So we were using MySQL with a single master and a single slave. Now that MySQL server was not sufficient to handle a higher
Correct.
load. So for scaling system, you need to do sharding, you need to do a lot of replication, you need to use something like Redis or Elastic Cache as well, to kind of make sure that you are able to do faster transactions.
Got it. थोड़ा सा little bit more detail on this कि अगर 150 से if 100 150 transactions to 3000 transactions per second,
Yeah.
what are what will you say, what are the three things that made that happen?
There would not be three things. There are kind of multiple things that we have
Of
done,
course.
and it took us almost 3 to 4 years to do it. So
Okay.
we split our monolithic architecture into a microservice architecture. So if you do one payment transaction on Paytm, it goes through about 40 to 50 microservices.
Okay.
And end to end takes about 300 to 400 milliseconds to do so.
That is still quite fast.
That's still quite
For
fast.
30 to 40 microservices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have to design a system where different microservices with different set of responsibilities can talk to each other, and if one microservice goes down, it doesn't impact the others as well.
Okay.
So we have to make the services resilient enough. That is one thing. Second thing is that you need to find the bottlenecks in your system. Now, bottlenecks can be found out only when you do a performance testing.
Correct.
So that is one of the important things that we started doing. We used to do performance testing either late night at about 1 a.m. when the traffic dips, or morning 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So our performance testing used to go for around 3-4 hours. We used to run a higher load, find the bottlenecks in the system, fix it, then
But-
run it again.
But जैसे कि you just said ना कि it took you guys around 3 to 4 years to reach there. बट डिमोनेटाइजेशन आज हुआ, स्केल मेरा कल से बढ़ गया, तो वो इमीडिएट जो चेंज था वो 10x स्केल का, उसे कैसे मैनेज करें? बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हेन यू आर optimizing or when you're rewriting system, it takes time, but sometimes scale happens suddenly.
Correct.
तो उसे कैसे, it was just a vertical scaling?
So at the time of demonetization, it was mostly vertical scaling, plus there were few bottlenecks in the system that we fixed in a day or two. So at that time, our load increased from 100 transactions per second to 300, 400 transactions per second.
Got it.
And that we were able to handle after a week or two of these optimizations that we did. But for longer duration, because we knew that now Paytm has arrived, or now kind of digital payments has arrived in India, we have to kind of make sure that in future we are able to handle the higher load as well.
In terms of tech, what differentiates Microsoft, Paytm, and HT Digital?
See, in all three companies, first of all, I'm kind of lucky to have worked in all these three companies. All are renowned companies in their own vertical, different industry. In Paytm, we used to serve kind of millions of users, and obviously the change, the kind of pace of change was very fast there at that point of time. In terms of technology there, as I said, that it was about 50 to 60 microservices handling about 55 million transactions a day, something like that. That was the scale there. And it was a highly scalable system. in Microsoft, we were building for billions of users across the world.
Right.
And each and every cohort of users of that kind of Microsoft has, we have to keep all of them in mind while building our tech systems, that we should be able to serve all the users of that. In ST Digital, we get about 250 million users. Here also, we have about 100 microservices across
Okay.
all our systems. 150, 170 engineers kind of manages those services. Here, we build for short term as well as kind of keeping our long term priorities also in mind.
Right.
So scale of the system, I would say, was kind of similar. Microsoft has a higher scale in terms of number of users. In terms of technology, I would say all three companies are at a very good scale, because kind of whenever you have to serve millions of users, you have to build a system from grounds up, which is kind of able to handle any load at any point of time. In Paytm, we used to get a high load at the time of IPL. In ST Digital, we get a high load at time of elections.
Okay.
So we have to manage both the peaks.
Yeah. With AI, what have you seen changing?
A lot has changed. So from the day I think ChatGPT was launched, a lot of things were changed. Initially, we started adopting it just for kind of writing our mails or or creating some text or doing some smaller research.
Right.
Now, I think many of the users that I've seen have moved more to the kind of Google AI mode or Perplexity or this agent for different daily use cases as well. In terms of coding as well, almost about 30 to 40% code is written by AI tools. We are using GitHub Copilot for writing the code here. We are using a combination of GitHub Copilot plus MCP and Playwright to generate the automation test cases. We are using Manus AI to actually create the presentation. So previously creating presentation was a lot of mess and we used to take a lot of time in kind of creating it.
Right.
Now you go to the AI tool, you just kind of give it something like an Excel sheet and a list of instruction, and it generates a beautiful presentation by
Correct.
itself.
That is true.
So a lot of things have changed. Uh, in ST, we have started adopting it really well. In tech, we have adopted it really well. We are measuring the productivity and the efficiency gain also. In other verticals of ST, we have started kind of doing the digital transformation as well. That how we can automate or use AI and in each and every function that we have in ST, whether that sales team, marketing team, HR team, uh, and so forth.
So, from the coding perspective, have you seen a negative impact of using Gen AI from engineers or not? ऐसा है कि कहीं कुछ लोगों के साथ with certain engineers, it has impacted them positively, but with certain engineers, it has actually reduced their productivity.
In ST, I have not seen it frankly that it has reduced the productivity, but in some cases we have seen that people have committed that AI generated code without reviewing it. So AI many a time does that it, for example, generates the code to solve the 80% of the problem, and then it says कि ये आगे वाला खुद लिख लेना. But if an engineer is not reading that code, not reviewing it,
Just leave it there.
not testing it, then it will kind of surely break in production.
Right.
So we have set up a lot of guardrails on our side. We have a very strong code review mechanism by kind of using another AI model
Okay.
and by a human actually reviewer also. We have a good set of automation test cases that run on a nightly basis on a complete code and on pre-production and production environment also, to make sure that none of the AI code is causing any production issues that our customer has to face on our websites.
But have you seen, abhi, few minutes back you mentioned that there is a lot of hallucination that happens, when you are using AI.
Yeah.
So, from the coding perspective, can you do a little bit deep dive on, what are those hallucinations and how to overcome that when an engineer is actually using AI for development?
See, I have seen that many of the things can be resolved by providing more context to the model
Okay.
or by changing the prompt that we are using. And still, we have to believe that AI can generate only 50-60% of the code. Rest of the coding has to be done by human. AI अभी भी 100% जो है मतलब business scenario को solve नहीं कर पा रहा है. There are a lot of issues, and it get kind of confused in its own cycle
It goes in a
itself.
loop, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of moves in a loop. It wastes a lot of time also in some cases. So we need human engineers who are reviewing their code, who's helping the AI to write better code whenever it is getting stuck into some situation.
But what I have seen is, in most of the cases, what AI does is I give it a problem, give it a lot of context, it will solve it, right? But then I'll say, this is not what was supposed to be done. You have to do something else.
Yes.
Even if I'm wrong,
Then also will say
it
yes.
will still say yes. You are right. I missed it. I'll do it again, right? And again, when you add something on top of it, so there is no, until unless you don't know the problem very well, you will never be able to solve it
Correct.
properly using AI. You'll
Correct,
just be
correct.
stuck in a loop, like you rightly said.
And that's why we need more experienced engineers to actually work with AI. Uh, your experienced engineers understand the business workflow. They understand that which code is correct and which code is not correct.
Right.
And they need to spend time with AI to kind of make it work.
And when do you think AI will have that capability that it will be able to solve those kind of complex engineering problems as well? Do you think are we anywhere near that? Is it going to happen, or we
I
are far from there?
I think right now we are very far from it. It will still take a lot of time for an AI to understand the business context, and many a times communication happens verbally, not through any Jira or Confluence and all.
Right.
So when you talk to your customer, when you talk to your product manager, when you talk to your business person, then you understand that what needs to be built.
Correct. Right.
And kind of human minds actually connect all those things
And I
with the
think
Jira and PRD and then
yes,
write the
and
code
I
about
think
that.
you can't have all the nuances,
All the nuances, it's
in
very
one
difficult to
place, right?
consider that. So a lot of repetitive tasks that can surely now be done using AI. But
Maybe once you have a digital clone,
Hmm.
we can create a digital clone of ourselves, right? We can probably do that. ChatGPT recently launched a product called IO, I guess, right? Which is
Okay.
a small product, a small hardware, which you can keep with, which you can carry with yourself all the time, and it remembers everything. It knows everything about you. It has all the context of what you are talking, who you are talking to, and whatever. Obviously, not what you are thinking, but whatever conversation you are
Conversation
happening,
you're having,
it is capturing everything.
that.
Right. So although it might be very useful, but at the same point of time,
It's
I
very
think
scary
it's
also.
very scary
Very
as well.
scary also. That is listening to all your
I
conversations.
just need to steal your steal that device, and
Correct,
I
correct.
can,
Own you.
yeah, I can own you, right? So what do you think about that? What do you think about these kind of products? Because this can lead to a lot of blackmailing as well. This can lead to
Correct,
a lot of
correct.
other stuff as well, right? So
See, with good things, we have seen some bad things also happening. Now we are seeing that hacking attacks have increased.
yes,
So in last 3-4 months, the kind of hacking attacks or the attempts that have kind of the the security attack that have come to our website have actually increased 10x or so.
okay,
Yeah. And with AI tools, it's kind of actually becoming very easy to do an
right,
attack and
right,
write
right,
a code and do it,
right.
which was not that easy previously.
Mm-hmm.
So there would always be kind of good actors and bad actors who will use the technology based on the kind of use case that they have for it.
Before this conversation, we were just chatting about that how the overall productivity of the engineers have increased a lot, right?
Yeah.
So now one engineer can basically do a work of two or three engineers.
Correct.
So what is going to happen in the tech industry? What is going to happen to rest of the engineers? Because I'm sure the pace at which AI is exploding right now, with the same pace, similar number of opportunities is not going to increase.
Not going to increase. So just to give you an example, till last year, every month, our engineers used to produce about 300K lines of code.
Okay.
that number has grown to more than 1 million lines of code.
Okay.
As per last month. So the engineering productivity has increased. However, I still feel that there is still a need of much more good engineers.
Mm-hmm.
There are engineers who work on a superficial level, who do
Yeah.
what they're instructed to do, and they just go home after doing that.
So what will happen to those guys?
Those guys have to have a growth mindset and learn whatever coming up new.
Still, if they
Else
learn it, right? Still, if they learn it, obviously the market will not be able to accommodate so many good engineers
so many
either,
good
right?
engineers also. See, I would advise that everybody should be top of their game and be in 20-25% slab in complete engineering industry, and then you will kind of surely have a job.
Do you think
If
the
you are an
engineering?
average performer,
Yeah.
then after 2 or 3 years, it may become difficult to
Yeah.
get a job.
Do you think the engineering cost will also reduce?
Engineering cost will certainly.
I think it has already
It
reduced.
has already started actually
It has
reducing.
flattened. I think I haven't
It has
seen
flattened now.
much, much, I would say, appreciation in the last 3-4 years. It has
Yes.
almost flattened.
It is almost flattened now.
Yeah. So do you think this will continue? This will persist, or this?
See, the overall engineering cost to deliver a certain product will surely reduce.
Right.
Like example, if you have to kind of develop any personal finance product, any loan or lending platform, uh, we may have required about 40-50 engineers 2-3 years back. In ST, we have developed that product with 10 engineers.
Right.
So the cost of developing new product has certainly come down, and it will come down more in next 1 to 2 years with all these advancements in AI
Right.
and the productivity gain that we'll seek out of it.
Got it. I also see a lot of conversation, with a lot of clients I speak with, that why do we need so many engineers? Why do we need so much time? Up to AI, yeah, AI, you should be able to do it in 1 day, 2 day. Unreal expectations. Do you also see this happening on a day-to-day basis from your business team or from the leadership?
I think in ST, our business leader also understand that the tech people require, and normally if you see a regular day of an engineer, a, a, a normal kind of coder only spend 50% of the time in coding.
Right.
Rest of the time is spent in understanding that requirement, in creating the detailed documentation, technical documentation, in working with the other teams also to create an end-to-end technical architecture,
Right.
in doing the deployments, in working on the production issues.
Mm-hmm.
So all those things can be assisted by AI, but you still need a human to do it. So only efficiency in coding will not kind of uh, make kind of engineer jobless, I would say. But engineers are doing a lot more other things also
Right.
that still needs to be done by human, and it's difficult to find a sort of AI replacement to do so.
Right. नहीं, but in terms of कि अब तो कोड जनरेट हो जाता है सारा कुछ, right? So that expectation has changed in terms of the timeline of delivery, or have you seen that happening in your case? मैंने तो देखा है, मेरे साथ तो बहुत बार ही होता है. In fact, I personally also sometimes push my team कि भाई this should not take this much time, right?
Yes.
If you're doing a lot of the grunt work, a lot of the I would say scaffolding is already done by the AI, then just need to write the business logic.
So obviously expectation is there that you should be able to deliver the things in a faster kind of manner, and we are getting there. We are kind of, I think, slowly and steadily the things are improving. I would say that till last year, if you are generating if you are kind of taking a Figma file and writing an HTML and a React for that, we used to get about 20% savings by using AI. Now it has increased to 50-60% savings.
Right.
So the AI models are increasing. Obviously, the business expectation will increase, and it should increase also. And there should be always kind of sort of constant push and pull from with business and engineering team to make things kind of faster.
I think that push and pull has always been there between engineering and business, right? For them, tech is a black box. भाई एक बटन चेंज करना उसमें इतना टाइम क्यों लग रहा है, राइट? एंड फॉर अस, फॉर इंजीनियर्स, इट डजंट मेक सेंस कि भाई why these guys don't understand anything, right? So that has always been there. और मुझे लगता है कि that will continue for a longer time period
Correct.
as
But
well. That's
normally
not
we do a lot of workshops here in ST
okay.
and in Paytm
That which
also
is good.
to kind of make people understand that why kind of changing something will take that much time. So changing a button is not just about changing one HTML element in our code. It's also about kind of thinking about that what is the functionality that is getting
Right.
changed. You have to do a commit. You have to do a code review. You have to do the deployment as well. So while doing a deployment
Right.
also take about half an hour to 1 hour of the time. Then you have to
But
do a post production sanity.
yeah.
So
But I think that workshop should be for both the sides.
yes,
Also for engineers to understand the business
correct,
perspective.
correct, correct,
Right?
correct.
What I've also seen is a lot of times, a lot of engineering leaders and engineers as well, they get too attached to the feature or a product that they have built, right?
Yes.
And if the after 2 months business will say that that we have to pull down this feature, we don't want to continue with this, people feel very bad that I have worked so
Work
much,
so much
तुम्हें
hard
पता ही
on
नहीं
it.
था कि ये काम करेगा तो क्यों बनवाया. You
Correct,
should have
correct,
that clarity from the very beginning,
correct,
right?
correct.
So but what they don't understand is it's not always about just building something, because what I strongly believe and what I have observed is that 90% of the features that is shipped, always gets pulled on. Even if you look
Correct.
at Google, Microsoft, anywhere
Everywhere,
else,
everywhere is
right?
the case. Yeah.
I mean, that workshop needs to be from both the sides. So
Yes.
टेक
So
में भी होता है या फिर only for the business work?
नहीं नहीं टेक में भी होता है. So I would say tech also needs to understand the business side of things.
Mhm.
See, a technical person becomes complete leader only when they align themselves with business.
Right.
Individually, technical system can't run the bread and butter for the
देखो
company.
CTO is just a business person who
हाँ.
knows tech, right? वैसे ही CSO is just a sales person, is a business person who knows
Who knows
sales, right?
sales?
I think
Yes.
CXOs have to be a business person. They just can't be it can't be
It
domain
can't be
specific.
domain, and you can't get attached to a particular technology or a
Yeah.
particular product that you have built. If something we have built, it works well and good, we cannot double down on that.
Yeah.
If it's not working and we have tried our best, then we can just sort of pull it down.
Mhm.
That's perfectly fine.
And I think this uh, thing or this personality or character is something that lot of founders also get too attached
Too
with.
attached to things.
मैंने प्रोडक्ट बनाया है, ये कंपनी बनाई है, वो चले ना चले, they keep spending years and years of
Correct.
their life on that.
Correct, correct.
Too much bias around it. So I think
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
just about tech or business, it's overall as a
It's about
human
human.
thing.
Correct.
Right. So if I ask one of your engineers what what you do,
Mhm.
right? What does your CTO do on a day-to-day basis?
Mhm.
What will he or she answer?
I think they will answer that my CTO wakes up at 5:30 a.m. and start pinging us around and start sharing some articles of LinkedIn and of OpenAI and other AI tools that how to improve engineering efficiency and productivity. Plus, I work very closely with all the engineers, so I know them very well. They know me very well. I'm not kind of a I do not have a kind of personality of kind of an instruction giver only that I give instructions kind of, but I work with them as a part of their team itself to solve the problem that we are working on together.
Do they also feel same way or
That's the feedback that I have received.
okay? That is nice.
And many a times, whenever, for example, any production issues are happening, so I'm always with them in the call.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of always helping them to solve the production issues as well.
Mm-hmm. When you have to lay off someone, how do you do that?
So normally in Paytm and ST, I have to lay off someone, but not just because of the cost pressure, but because of the performance of the team member.
Right.
So on my side, I give them 6 to 7 months to improve the performance overall. So I start giving them verbal feedbacks for 1 or 2 months, kind of helping them to understand that where they are kind of lacking, and from my side also to understand that whether that's a skill gap or whether that's a motivation gap.
Right.
So in many cases, I found out that one person is not very much aligned with that manager or that project or that technology. Then we shift their team to understand that if they can work with other manager or not.
Right. And sometimes I think it's also a skill problem or motivation. And the third is which I strongly believe is the process problem.
Process problem
Right?
also.
Sometimes it's not the people, it's us.
It's us, correct, correct. So from my side, I try my best
Yeah.
to give them the feedback, to give them the support also, so that they can perform better. But even after that, if they are unable to do so, and kind of obviously we have to look at the complete business as well.
Right.
We can't let business suffer because of one or two team members. So then we kind of put them on PIP plan. There we also give them feedback, complete support from our side. If that doesn't work out well, then we have to lay them. We have to do a
Right.
layoff to them.
But sometimes don't you think, when you get too personally involved with all the team members, right, all the engineers, it gets a little difficult to lay off someone, because the more you know about the other person, the more difficult it gets to take those tough decisions.
See, obviously, when you get attached to your team members, and I really get attached with all my team members, whether in Paytm, Microsoft, or
Yes.
now in ST, I consider them as my family, not as my team. But then, as a leader, kind of what I believe, you always have to keep your company first, then your team, then you.
Right.
So obviously, priority of a company is actually bigger than your team and yourself.
You have around 200 engineers, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do a one-on-one with everyone on a regular basis, or how do you keep in touch with everyone? If, like you said, right, you are always in touch with almost all your
Correct,
engineers.
correct. So I don't. So I do not get time to do one-to-one with all the engineers. With my DRs, I regularly do one-to-ones. We have, for example, an engineering leadership forum where we meet every week with all the senior engineers.
And how many DRs do you have?
I have 10 DRs.
Okay. So DR basically is direct reportees. So yeah.
Yeah, and then with all the teams, I meet once in 1 quarter in a
Okay.
separate smaller forum where I discuss about their task.
In a smaller teams, right?
In a smaller
Yeah.
team, 7-8 people
Right,
team, I
right,
kind
right.
of meet them once in a quarter. Then on a quarterly basis, we also have something like an engineering town hall where
Yeah.
we meet the complete team together. We show some innovations that we have done. What are the next quarter's priorities and everything, so that everybody stays aligned to the organization
Yeah.
goal.
You have worked with so many engineers, right? So I'm sure you must have worked with exceptional 10x engineers as well, and some average engineers as well, right? So what do you think really differentiates these two guys?
I think that the one differentiating factor is the kind of ownership that engineer takes. So I really believe that as an engineer, if you are considering your system as your baby, you will make sure that it runs all the time. If it falls down, then you are kind of making it up and kind of making sure that your production system runs. So if an engineer is taking end-to-end ownership and aligning themselves with the business objective, then they really become a 10x engineer. An average engineer just focuses on the task in
Jira
hand that
task,
has
yeah.
been given. So you give them Jira task, they will deliver it, commit it, and go home.
But आपको क्या लगता है? Why do you think there are certain people who have that very high accountability and ownership, and there are certain people who just do not care, right? For them, it's just a 10 to 6 job, करा और गए. For them, it's a very they attach their ego to it.
Ego to it. I think it's kind of based on their behavior and their perspective of life. See, I respect both the perspective, um, but obviously we need more people who want themselves to be accountable to a system. And when I've seen that those people grow and become a manager and a CTO rather than an average performer.
Right.
So if you don't have any aspirations to grow, if you want to just do kind of coding all the time, work on smaller Jira tasks and all,
मुझे क्या
then it's
लगता है
up
ना,
to
I
them.
think the primary reason is that these people who take that accountability and ownership, they are very passionate about the work. They really love what they are doing. And for the others, it's just a job है, पैसे
job है,
आ रहे
पैसे
हैं,
आ रहे हैं, बस कर देना.
right? So that's why they're just doing it.
They are
They
doing
don't
it.
love it. They
Yeah.
just have to do it. That's why they are doing it,
Correct, correct, correct.
right? And I think probably if they do something which they really love, probably in that area they can find that explosive growth as well.
Explosive growth as
Around all this debate of 40, 80, 100 hours
well.
in a week,
Hmm.
how many hours do you work typically?
Frankly speaking, I don't count the number of hours I work, but if I really have to think about it, would be close to about 60-65 hours in a week.
You will not imagine, everybody I speak with,
Hmm.
this is the exact answer. All the CTOs, all the good engineers that I speak with, this is the exact answer I get. I don't count hours,
Yeah.
right? So nobody ever, puts a tag on it on the number of hours that they work in, and I
Yeah.
think that is something that people don't even care about.
And as you said, that if you are passionate about something, then you don't
Right.
actually kind of think about that kind of.
You
If,
don't
if
think
it's a
of it as
work
a
of,
work,
if it's
right?
a
You
work,
work
it's a
for work,
passion, yeah.
right?
So if I'm working on a complex coding problem,
Hmm.
I may not kind of sleep complete night also.
Yeah.
So as a CTO, I will not be having a pressure to complete it, but it's my passion that I have to
Hmm.
kind of deliver that to our team. So
Right. So, do you think, your colleagues from your earlier days in your career, right,
hmm.
uh, who you think were not as passionate as you were or others, are still stuck in middle management, or how have they grown in their career?
I kind of the colleagues that I've seen that who are not passionate about work, they are at a similar level or have grown probably one level above.
Hmm.
But the colleagues who were really passionate about the work, who really wanted to do something for the organization and for their career growth also, have kind of really grown
Yeah, I
in
think people who are
their
not
career.
working for title, they're just
Yes,
working for themselves.
for themselves, for
Right,
learning that if I work more hours, I'm going to learn something, and that would
right,
help me and my organization both.
right. So I
So they
think,
really grow.
yeah, I think a lot of people who are stuck at middle management, who are looking for an answer why they are still stuck, probably,
Yeah,
they need to do an introspection or a retrospection,
correct, correct.
that if this is the case or is it something else. If this is the case, then I think not much can be done. But if it is not the case, then probably they need to understand
Yeah,
or find the right place.
plus the people who are kind of stuck into middle management, they have to start getting aligned themselves with a business objective and
Yes,
think about strategic goals rather than a daily operations work.
right.
So if you're doing a daily operation work, then a person would stay at the same level itself.
Hmm.
Only when you exceed the expectations of your boss or your kind of leadership, then you grow into that role.
Right. One of my mentor, once told me that
Mm.
to become a leader, you need to first stop being a developer.
Yes.
Right? As long as you are thinking like a developer, you
Correct.
can never become a leader.
Correct.
So
Correct. Correct.
you need to get out of that shoe first.
Yes, I agree.
What is one red flag that when you see that in any engineer when you are hiring, you instantly reject that person?
There are multiple red flags that I normally see. I believe in interviews more than technical skills, behavioral skills are actually more
Hmm.
important.
Of
Technical
course.
skills you can learn, and now AI is also doing a lot of coding, so you
Correct,
can
right?
change your programming languages very fast.
Yes.
One person who was working in Java can now work in
Self.
for themselves for
Right.
learning that if I work more hours, I'm going to learn something, and that would
Right.
help me and my organization both.
Right. So I
So they
think,
really grow.
yeah, I think a lot of people who are stuck at middle management, who are looking for an answer why they are still stuck, probably,
Yeah,
they need to do an introspection or a retrospection,
correct, correct.
that if this is the case or is it something else. If this is the case, then I think not much can be done. But if it is not the case, then probably they need to understand
Yeah,
or find the right place.
plus the people who are kind of stuck into middle management, they have to start getting aligned themselves with a business objective and
Yes.
think about strategic goals rather than a daily operations work.
Right.
So if you're doing a daily operation work, then a person would stay at the same level itself.
Hmm.
Only when you exceed the expectations of your boss or your kind of leadership, then you grow into that role.
Right. One of my mentor, once told me that
Mm.
to become a leader, you need to first stop being a developer.
Yes.
Right? As long as you are thinking like a developer, you
Correct.
can never become a leader.
Correct.
So
Correct. Correct.
you need to get out of that shoe first.
Yes, I agree.
What is one red flag that when you see that in any engineer when you are hiring, you instantly reject that person?
There are multiple red flags that I normally see. I believe in interviews more than technical skills, behavioral skills are actually more
Hmm.
important.
Of
Technical
course.
skills you can learn, and now AI is also doing a lot of coding, so you
Correct,
can
right.
change your programming languages very fast.
Yes.
One person who was working in Java can now work in React, can now work in kind of Python also. Uh, the the red flag that I look into the person is that, first of all, with any person who is more than 3 years of experience, if I'm asking him that what is one initiative or one accomplishment that you have, if he's unable to explain that, that means that he's just a follower, he can't be a leader.
Right.
So if in 3 years an engineer has not taken any initiative to improve the system, to reduce the response time, to reduce the cost of the engineering system, to increase his or his team's engineering productivity, then that's a clear red flag that that person won't be able to sustain
Right.
with the expectation that we are having from our team.
One question that I always ask, when I talk to any potential hire, is what has been the most challenging problem you
Challenging
have
problem to
solved,
solve, yeah.
right? So, if your challenging problem doesn't sound as challenging,
That's challenging.
then it's a problem, right? There has to be something challenging that
Some
you must have,
challenging.
or you're not aware that you have done something. So that is also a red flag, I guess.
Or you have not contributed to a challenging problem,
Yes.
because each and every organization actually gets a challenging problem,
Right.
and only the best engineers gets an opportunity to solve it,
Right.
or they get so much kind of involved into it that they want to solve it.
Yes.
The
Right.
engineer who is not motivated will actually try to run away from that complex problem.
Right. And plus, once when the challenging problem comes, right? So you'll also delegate it to a person who you
Yes.
can trust,
Who
right?
you
Who
can
you know he
trust.
will solve,
He
right?
will
Not
solve.
someone who will just drag it for weeks,
Correct, correct,
right? Without solving it. So that is also, that also shows how dependable you were
correct.
or not, right? At ST Digital,
Hmm.
what kind of business problems or technical engineering problems you guys are solving on a day-to-day basis?
Okay. So in ST Digital, we get about 250 million unique users every month. Now we are working on a technical problem, that how do we target those users for different kind of monetization or personalization intervention. So if a user is coming, for example, on an article related to the personal loan,
Yeah.
then we show them the widgets that from where they can take the personal loan as well. uh, if a user is interested into entertainment article, then we show them the ads related to that. So
Right.
so for that we have kind of created our own CDP, that is customer data platform, where all the click tracking and all the attributes of user goes into our data warehouse, and that was a kind of one of the most challenging
So you
problem
guys are
that
not
we
using
have
any
solved.
third-party tools for that user activity monitoring. That is completely in-house.
We are using Google Analytics
Yeah.
to kind of do that click tracking.
Mhm.
Plus, we have our own kind of sort of solutions also.
Analytics on top of it.
Analytics on top of it, that is
Yeah.
kind of enriching the data into BigQuery.
Got it. Okay.
And that data we use to kind of target the users for different use cases, and to show them the personalized recommendations also for the article. So if you are, for example, are interested in the entertainment stories, and if you land on our can you land on our website, we will show you the entertainment articles that
Got it.
sort of based on your past
So
history.
basically, ST is doing a profiling of all the users
Yes.
based on their interest, based on their likes, dislikes, and then
Correct.
recommendation is happening based on those parameters.
Correct, correct.
Got it.
And now we are also kind of becoming a fintech organization. So last
Okay.
year we have launched a personal loan kind of vertical, where we are actually kind of partner with multiple NBFCs, and we are giving loans to our consumers.
Got it.
We have also ventured into social commerce or content to commerce. We
Yeah.
are writing the content that kind of drives the affiliate revenue for our partners
Got it.
in Amazon, Myntra, and other
Okay.
companies.
Got it. What kind of engineers do you typically look for when you are hiring someone, or what does it take to become an engineer at ST Digital?
So one thing I really look at the engineer is that how agile and how flexible they are. So obviously they should be have a knowledge of the technical domain that they are kind of working in. So if they are expert in Java, they should know the internal details of Java also.
Right.
Because if you don't know the internal kind of details, you can't solve the production issues.
Yeah.
You need to know the nth
How
level
it
of Java
works,
to
how it actually
how it
works,
actually works.
right?
Because if something gets stuck, for example, if the
Mm.
garbage collection is getting triggered, if you don't know about how that
How it
thing
actually
works in
works, right?
Java,
You will
you
never.
can't optimize
Yes,
that.
yes.
So that is the one thing that I look. Second thing is that how agile you are. Like in
Mm.
last 3 years, so 3 years back we used to have separate workforce of HTML engineers, React engineers, Java engineers,
Right.
QA as well. Now I'm trying to kind of merge all those things into
Yes.
one engineer. Now one engineer is kind of writing the HTML code or generating it by using Figma,
Yes.
Make, and
Yes.
other AI tools, writing the Java code as well, and generating the automation test cases of that as well.
Got it.
So that kind of agility and flexibility is required now.
Got it. And if someone has to apply for a job at Digital Digital, where who should they reach out to? Your
So on
careers page.
LinkedIn, they can reach out to me. They can reach out to our HRs. We post all the requirements that we are having on LinkedIn itself, and that is the kind of best platform to kind of follow us and learn and apply more about HTML.
Awesome.